Hello, Tamily. We are about to start episode 131 for Ask Tamily. And I just have to say that we have more episodes than many, many, many famous long running television shows. So, just wanted to call that out. Happy 2021. Our guest today is going to be Courtney. Her Instagram name is fitbizgirl_tam. So if you're not following her, make sure that you follow her. And we're going to get connected right now. Let's see. Okay, and we are connecting. Hello, Courtney.
Hello.
Thank you for being our 131st Ask Tamily interview.
Oh, I feel so special. Like I should have the champagne out, but my dog's barking for us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited to talk to you. And of course, we have some questions planned, but we'll also look for any questions in the chat and make sure to ask you those also.
Sounds like a plan.
So let's start with our first favorite question, which is when and how did you start doing the Tracy Anderson method?
So interesting enough is probably 2 years ago, this past December, I was always a big cardio junkie. Like I really felt that was the only way I was going to get fit was just to run myself ragged. So I got into Orange Theory, again, into the heart rate monitors, how many calories can I burn? Well, lo and behold, I tore my hip labrum on a treadmill. I remember the day, I remember the moment, the pain, and I just, from that moment, got really depressed thinking, what am I going to do now? I mean, I can't run. Surgery was an option, but it's really not a great solution for a labrum tear. So I kept getting the ads on Tracy Anderson. I didn't know anyone who did Tracy Anderson. And I would click on it, and then slowly I would start seeing people on Instagram doing it. I didn't know that there was this huge community behind it. So I signed up for the 14-day free trial. And I thought used to travel a lot for work. And I'm like, oh, I can do this in my hotel room. Oh, and it's like Jane Fonda. I could do that. It's probably so easy. I don't know how I'm going to look like her, but it's easy. I committed to doing the 14 days. I tried to do every day. I think I missed one or two. And then I'm like, there's something to this. It's not as easy as it seems. I didn't start with the weights. And I'm like, okay, this little thing's got some fire behind her. So I committed to dedicating myself to the practice. I wouldn't sign up for a year membership. I only did monthly because, again, I was still fearful that I wouldn't continue with it. But then once you start seeing the results, I found the community. I'm addicted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Tam fam.
You've just only done streaming and haven't done any of the DVDs or anything?
No, I've never done the DVDs.
That's an interesting experience. So when did you start exactly?
So I started TAM December of 2018. So I had my 2 year this past December.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what kind of lane do you stay in, or do you ever, switch around between the three levels?
I have mentally chosen and always try to start with attain first. Many times I want to go to IMC, but I know mentally through Tracy's chats that I have to do attain because it is the mental game that I need. I don't wander mentally when I'm in attain. But I do like to bounce back to IMC when I do need a break, like a mental break, or I just want to feel, I guess. I bounce back and forth, but I try to do attain fully.
I think that is an interesting way to put it, like that your mind really can't wander in attain.
No.
Think about, but
the only way it wonders is when I want to cuss her out because I can't keep going, or I'm trying to keep my mind going, so I think of random things like, oh, I feel like a piece of taffy right now, and I'm just going to keep doing this move because I feel like I'm stretching.
yeah, that's That's a good way to put it too, because it's not just about like a physical break sometimes. It is, just not thinking about those 13-part moves can be.
Yes.
Um, so what made you ultimately want to stick to the Tracy Anderson method versus other fitness methods that you've done before?
So it's the first time I remember taking my picture, like everybody does. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take my picture.
Mhm.
And I remember being so disgusted of myself. And I guess I thought I was fit, not disgusted, but I took a picture and I'm like, I really thought I was fit at that point in time. And then a few months later, I took another picture and my jeans are fitting better. And I'm thinking, wow, there's something to this. I'm not running my brains out. I'm just letting this little firecracker kill me every day, and it's working, and that's that along with also the community. I finally realized that there was more to it, and it's weird. I don't remember anybody telling me about it. I think I just started to pick up on it slowly. And then I'm like, wow, it unleashed a whole new world for me. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing ever. I consider Instagram people my friends. This is weird. Like I never thought I'd be that person, and here I am posting workouts.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, I still think it's weird when other people meet people online and stuff, but Tamily is so not weird. Like, I'll meet you in any city in the world and stay in a hotel room with you. Like, it's not, you know?
It's so cool, and I feel the same way. I feel connected to so many people.
Mhm.
So everyone motivates me. So
So,
thank you.
if you had to call out anyone in particular, are there certain people in the Tamily that really inspire you?
Oh gosh, this is a hard one because everyone inspires me. And I will say I don't like the Instagram algorithms because I don't always get to see the people I like. And then I'm like, why haven't I saw this person?
Yeah.
And it feels like I feel bad for not seeing some of my
Mhm.
family. I will say I think there's some people who are key to the community that I've learned. Like Michelle, is it Michelle Maple
Yeah.
and Goats? Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. I just always know her as Michelle when she comes up. She was a big inspiration, I feel, through COVID of
Mhm.
keeping Tamily engaged at times when we all wanted to fall between the cracks.
Yeah.
So I really commend her for her dedication of constantly trying to bring a group together, because that's a lot of work. Just like what you're doing every week is a lot of work. So thank you.
Well, Nicole,
Um,
all the work. I just get to sit here.
Thanks, Nicole. And I think Alicia from AWT
Mm.
TAM.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, my heart for this woman who shows up to the mat every freaking day. There is no excuse for any of us to not work out. So when I see her persevere, um, it's so powerful. So Alicia, thank you. And then Miriam. And I've really just started to realize all that this woman does too. The Tracy Anderson Scholarship.
Mhm.
I mean, what other community does that? It's really special that I'm sitting here tearing up over this community from people all across the world. Um, and I mean, I could keep going on and on. Like Sharona, Shar Loves Tam. When I went to LA, she reached out to me and took me to my first Tracy Anderson class.
Oh,
So I thank her for that. I mean, again, I could tell so many people thank you, everyone thank you who's in the community, because you do inspire me.
yeah, that is definitely a Tamily trait about this community and also about the like meeting people and just,
Yeah.
being such a welcoming and positive community. So we do already have a question for you in the chat, which is from
Okay.
Jazz, and she was just interviewed a couple weeks ago. Um, she said your smiles during your workouts are everything. What is the hardest challenge for you doing the method?
Oh, the hardest, that's a great question. Believe it or not, when I smile, I'm usually in pain. And the way I have my camera set up, it acts as my mirror. So when I look at myself on my camera and I have an ugly face, I'm like, girl, smile, because you look freaking fugly. So that's when you see me smile, is when I'm in pain. And the hardest part of doing workouts is the end for me. I don't like abs. I've never liked abs. My abs are weak, and it just is my reality. And I have to really push through the end when I see abs on the agenda, like this week.
Yeah, yeah. It takes me to another level too if there's something else after abs.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, that's
yeah,
like mental
really.
explosion.
Exactly. So how do you personally stay motivated to keep working out on a very regular basis?
Uh, Working out has always been a mental stress reliever for me. So it's just a part of my day that after I have my 2 cups of coffee in the morning, used to be one, now it's two. Actually, it used to be none. Then it became one, now it's two. It is what it is. I just go straight up to my space. My family knows that's what I do. My son, when he gets up in the morning, he turns on my heater in my room, and that is my time. To stay motivated, I go in waves. Like this past Christmas, I was in a funk, and I didn't post a lot. I feel like through COVID, because I don't know. It was a weird time for me emotionally too, just like everyone else. I was here doing my method, um, but then like I might get on the bike for a little bit, but then I realize it's not doing the same for me as Tracy Anderson is. I also realize that I'm more consistent when I do post, as in just my whole well-being of health.
Mhm.
I hold myself accountable in many more ways.
Yeah,
So that's interesting how it works, but
yeah,
that's the community.
definitely. What would be your advice to someone who is new to the method or new to the Tamily?
First, don't get discouraged. We all want results immediately, and it does take time. A lot of the Tamily that's been around for a long time, it's been years for them to get where they are. You want to look as strong as these other individuals do. I remember looking at Clean Fit and Connie, or Clean
Mhm.
Connie, and I'm like, gosh, she's so in control. Like I want to be that. And it takes time. It takes years, and stick with it because it will work. Ease into it. Don't jump into to attain right away. It's okay to do start. It's okay to do start without the weights and then work to the weights.
Yeah.
We've all had a journey, and we all just didn't jump right into the hardest path.
Yeah, that's a really good point because I think sometimes, especially if people did other workouts, then they're thinking they must jump immediately into attain. But you do have to learn the method itself, like,
You're
give
right.
yourself getting used to that she doesn't talk, getting used to whether, how the weights are. It's so different, even though it seems like there's such a small amount of weight, but it's
Yes.
so different than other, workouts.
Completely. And you brought up a good point. When she didn't talk initially, because I was used to somebody coaching me the whole time, I'm like, okay, this is strange. This is weird. And then I really got me into the zone with her. And you don't realize how many small muscles Tracy works, and how we don't, on average, without the method, use those small muscles. That it is a process to get in the method. There's a reason, there's a method to the madness.
Right.
I'm really bad at analogy or those things.
So we have a question from Lisa, who's also one of our 2021 interviews.
Hi, Lisa.
And I think she joined after you were talking about smiling, so this is going to be a little bit fun. But she said, do you have any tips for keeping a smile the entire workout? That's what I love about you. It always looks like you're having such a good time.
Great and good question. I do like to have a good time, and I, I smile because I'm usually in pain, and I look at myself in my camera and I realize how awful my face is. But it's also known that smile makes you young. If you smile, it makes you younger because you're using those muscles. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not why I do it. But that's a good reason to
I think it
try.
also can it just elevates your mood even if you don't feel that way. Like you smile and it has the like mental effects of the physical activity.
Yes.
Um would you have any tips for doing TAM while traveling, especially since you used to? I know we're in a weird space, but we still like to ask that question when it applies.
Yes. I have traveled a little too since COVID, and I've become even more, I guess, disgusted in the hotel, like going on the floor. Heather, with the Tamily, she used to travel too a lot, and she taught me to take the sheet off your bed
Oh,
and put it on the floor.
that's a great idea.
It's awesome. It is like, and then I still use a towel because I don't
Oh,
usually have a yoga mat or anything, but that's been a lifesaver. If I don't have, I always carry my small weights, my 1.5 weights with me.
okay.
If you take those with you, you have to take them out before security, even if you're TSA, because it will go off. But I'll use those as my hand weights if need be, or I'll use water bottles. So I'll just get two small water bottles and I'll use those water bottles as my hand weights. And then I move furniture around like crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That sheet idea is perfect.
it is.
If I ever travel again, I will definitely do that.
We will travel again.
Yes,
We
hopefully
will
this year.
this year.
Um, what is your routine about doing your workout? How do you fit it into your life?
I just make it a priority. I don't do. I try to do Tracy Anderson every day, but it doesn't happen every day. Reality is, I mean, I will typically get 5 to 6 days in a week. If I don't get Tracy Anderson in, I will do something else. I might get on the bike or I'll go for a walk. But I have to do it first thing in the morning. I have my coffee and then I do it because if I wait later in the day, I'm not an evening person. My energy comes in the morning, and if you see me at 4, I'm pretty much fizzled. My smile isn't my smile anymore.
That's good to know. AM workouts definitely are good. I switched to them a few months ago, but oh my gosh, they are difficult. So those of you that think like that's the great time, it's tough, but it's so wonderful getting it done first thing in the morning too.
It is, and then you have the whole day.
Yeah. So we have another question in the chat. This is from My Breezy Summer.
Hi,
She
Kelly.
said, you have a very calming workout space. What's the effect on it on your workout? You also used to have an outdoor workout for a while. Can you compare the two different workout spaces?
Yes. So my workout space is also my office, which makes it hard. I don't really enjoy it as an office anymore, but I do like having a space that I go to every day for my TAM. It makes it feel like I'm removed. When I go in there, it is my zone. Like I am there, don't bother me. If my husband or my kid comes into the room, I get very angry. Like, I turn into something you don't want to see. So they know when I'm in there, just leave me alone. Outside, it's great. I'm in Austin, Texas. So the summers get really hot here. And I didn't do any this past summer, which is interesting, but it gets so buggy.
Mhm.
So now that I have my dedicated space, I
Yeah,
just go to my space.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's positives and negatives, definitely.
yeah, yeah.
We have another question in the chat from Telluride Tam. I can't remember what her name is. Um,
She's got a magical space.
she does. She said, "Do you ever do dance cardio or any other cardio other than Tracy Anderson method dance cardio?"
I need to. I really need to. It's a mental game for me. I do an hour and then I cannot push myself to do anything more than an hour from a workout perspective. And I know every day I fight with myself that I need to do dance cardio or I need to get on my bike for 20 minutes. I've tried to do that and I haven't succeeded, but I do know that to get the maximum results, or in my mind, to take myself to the next level, I should do that and also eat better. But I really like food too. So it is what it is.
I'm right there with you. Like, we could be better, but
It is what it is.
an hour, like sometimes it's just the time and to keep going after that,
Yes,
it's a
agreed.
workout in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So, that at least gives us the reasoning.
That's right.
um, do you have a motivational quote that you would like to share with the Tamily?
I'm a big motivational quote person, but my first one is real simple. And my high school, one of my high school athletic teacher told me this when I was going through some teenage, I'm sure, catastrophe. But it's really resonated with me my whole life. And that is tough times don't last long, but tough people do.
Mm.
It's so simple, but it impacts, I feel like it's impacted me in so many different phases of my life. Um, and with Tracy Anderson, it's another great example. Tough times don't last long with that little firecracker, but tough people do. And if we can get through that 60 minutes, we're going to feel way better. And it's just like COVID. This has been really hard for all of us. But in the whole scheme of things, it's going to be a little blip. And we've all been tough. We're getting through it. So stay strong. We're getting there. I have one more that I really like. And if you haven't watched The Lion King in a long time, I highly suggest you do because there are so many pearls in that movie, whether you watch the newest one that's not animated or the animated one. But one is you can't change the past, but you can change the future. So remember, what you did yesterday doesn't matter, but what you do today and tomorrow does. We get one life to live, so make it the best because we're all change agents in our own way.
That's such an important thing because, sometimes we dwell so much on like what I should have done and I could have done. And, if only I would have done even more Tracy or knew about the method.
Yes,
Or, like, you can't change that, but you can set your outlook and you decide what you do going forward.
absolutely. And our biggest enemy is between our two ears,
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
right here.
Absolutely. That is 100% true. So we have another question in the chat from Kylie. She says, do you stretch after you do the method?
I do not stretch after I do the method. I actually feel like I get pretty well stretched while doing Tracy, but no, I don't.
I think that's definitely a good question, especially for like people that are newer to the method. And some of the way that Tracy describes it is like you can get the stretch in the workout if you're like putting your energy into it, completely executing like every, elongation and
Yes,
while you're doing it.
for sure. And I feel like she's included a lot more downward dogs throughout our workouts lately. And those are, in my mind, one of the most beautiful things she does because I do feel like I'm getting that great stretch every time.
Yeah, like that entire body stretch.
Yes.
And my puppies would like to say hi.
I like puppies.
What are they barking at? And now they're in here. So hello.
That's part of it.
What is something important to you that you would like to share with the Tamily? I'm going to close this door.
No worries. Something important. Well, gosh, there's a lot of important things to me, of course, but my family is number one. Family and friends. Those are the people who keep me going. And then I think something that I've learned about myself, and it even became more apparent during COVID, is that I like to help others, and that's really important to me. So if I can help inspire somebody else or help them find what makes them who they are, that feeds my soul. So I started getting my coaching certification. So because of that reason, and that was a big commitment for me, but it really, I get just as much excitement as helping somebody else find that fire, that it gives me fire. So
it's such a Tamily trait, and It's such a like amazing thing to be able to like get what you need from this method in
Yes.
the community, but it's so reciprocal. Like you're giving back just as much as you're getting.
100%. Like I was thinking about it today, and I've thought about it before several times, but it makes me emotional to think how much I get from this community. And it still blows my mind that there's a space for us. It's
Absolutely.
really very special.
And honestly, it was that way, before COVID, but
Mhm.
well, I mean, in 2020 in general, but especially going through everything in the past year,
Yeah.
without this community, there is no way. Like, no
Yeah.
way.
I mean, when COVID hit, think about it, we were all fortunate. We didn't all, so many people had to find a new way of moving their body and working out. And we already had this world. And if anything, we're just bringing more people into our world to show them how beautiful it is. So
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
cool.
And even seeing, how Tracy and the trainers and like how they adapted, even though we were like really already there, we already had it online, we already had Zoom workouts, but it really got enhanced because of like what they've done. And then Tracy doing the lives and everything. I mean, that's been amazing.
I have not done a live yet. I'm scared.
You have to do it. It's crazy to me that like it shouldn't feel different than doing the workout
Yeah.
that's on our, what we can do
Yes.
every day, but it does. There's like a different energy, knowing that there's a whole bunch of people at the exact same time doing exactly the same thing. And Tracy like looking at the camera and it's like,
She's looking for
you're
your
really
soul.
there. Yes.
Lift that leg.
Yeah. You have to try at least one. Of course, they're very, very, very difficult, but it's like, it's amazing because you get that energy to actually work out for 2 hours. So for someone that doesn't really want to do that, which is also the same with me, like it carries you through. I don't know. It is a really cool experience.
So just the 2 hours fly by.
It really does. Like you think that you would get to a point where you're like, gosh, how much time? But you're not because you're like focused on the moves. Usually it's things that are complicated, although I don't feel like it's like an attain level workout like the entire time. Like I think
Okay.
it's definitely achievable for someone that regularly does the method. You don't have to be like super advanced to be able to do the live. Of course, there might be like some moves that are just a little more difficult, but it's really it's just an energizing and kind of fun like experience. I don't, do them all the time, but I definitely recommend at least trying one.
Do we get to, I'm sorry to ask questions on this, but do we get to see everybody who's in it, or is it just Tracy?
No, it's just Tracy, but you know that they're there. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
talks,
Right.
for, a little bit at the beginning and, says hello or she'll say something, wish somebody happy birthday or something like that. And then she does, the talk afterwards or even does some cardio and stuff afterwards too.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll try it. I'll try it.
It's just another way to like try Tracy. I think it's
Yes.
awesome. So tell us, Courtney, where do you live and what do you do?
So I live in Austin, Texas. I'm not from Austin, Texas. Never thought I'd live in Texas. It's its own country in itself. That is true. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Indiana, but I've bounced around a lot of places. And I've been here for 8 years. I'm in medical device sales, currently selling a system that helps to diagnose lung cancer.
Oh, wow.
So it's rewarding. Still always looking to find what that next step is in life, right? So I believe the coaching is probably potentially that next thing for me.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, being in the medical field, like that definitely goes also to your spirit about helping others and stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many in the Tamily community that, are in those
Yes.
kind of, and the coaching too. So we have a couple more questions in the chat. Aggie, who is our best question asker, I haven't even read her question yet, but she has two questions in here for you. So Get ready. These are going to be good. Aggie said, I already love this question. If you had to get a tattoo right now, what would it be and why?
Ooh, right now, I only have one tattoo,
Hmm.
and I got it. So maybe I'm dancing around the question, but I did get it in 2018, no, 2019,
Okay.
and I got it. I call it my power bracelet,
Okay.
and it
Oh,
stands for strength, confidence, and perseverance in Africa.
okay.
And any day that I'm having a rough time, I do that mantra. I look at my power bracelet and know that I can get through anything. Just keep persevering, stay strong, and I will get through it. So, gosh, to get another one, I get Tracy.
Yes.
Oh, and where would I get Tracy? That's a good one.
It
I
is.
don't know. That's a
Really,
great question. I'm kind of scared for your next one because I can't see it.
well, you
Uh-oh.
Aggie asked the best question. So let's see. What would you think are the five most beautiful things in the world and why?
Oh, OMG. Five most beautiful things and why. Well, I don't feel like I've seen a lot of the most beautiful things in the world. I have been to Australia, and I think that is one of the most beautiful places. The people are beautiful. Um, the land is beautiful. Everything about it I enjoyed. Um, Another beautiful thing to me is I really enjoyed Amsterdam. That's something I go back to. I like the energy of the people on their bikes. I like the architecture. I like the canals, the quaint cafes. So that's something I always go back to because I like city life, but I feel like it's a small city life
Mm-hmm.
and it's manageable, kind of something like Austin in a weird way,
Mm-hmm.
that it's small and manageable. Other beautiful places, Colorado has my heart to be up in the mountains and to hike. You feel free. It's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. The crisp air hitting your face. It's a magical feeling. And again, Aggie, there's so many places I
Yeah.
haven't seen that I want to.
Well, those
So
are
it's three.
three really good ones.
Yeah, I'll take those.
Yeah, definitely. Keep them in mind for when travel is back on.
Yes.
When did you first post to Instagram as part of the Tamily?
Oh my gosh, I will never forget the day because it was the scariest day of my life. But I felt that I was getting so much from these people, from our family, that I needed to give back. And that was, I started in December of 2018, and my first post, I just looked, was March 9th of 2019.
Okay.
So it took me a few months, and I remember analyzing that post over and over and over again. And then when I posted it, like that cringe in your stomach, like, what did I just do? Um, and it's funny, it just has gotten easier and easier, and I don't even think about it.
Yeah, it really, I don't know what they're so riled up about. It's ridiculous. Um, but it's really funny how, I think that some people are kind of nervous about posting for a long time and they wonder if it's like really for them and it's definitely not necessarily for everyone, but you get like over those feelings pretty quickly, especially too because the family is so positive and welcoming. Like you're not going to post something and then feel bad about it. Like people
No.
are not going to, that especially if your page is private and you can always block other people that are
Yes.
not family. It is a welcoming experience. I mean, I think most people, even people that post, every single day, like they wouldn't have thought they would do that. Like, be online with no makeup, like
Yes.
live streaming stuff. It's just it's an interesting way to kind of take the Tamily connections to another level. It really, to me, it really enhances that. Not that everyone has to post all the time.
Right.
That's part of the Tamily.
No, I feel like it's also a great way to look at yourself personally and to go back and look at your form see how you've improved. I mean, I thought when I started, I kicked my leg up high on a downward dog.
Mm-hmm.
2 years later, it's a completely different move for myself, or a back bend, or the splits. It's great to see your progress on top of it.
Well, and that's an interesting thing too, because I think, you know, even if you have mirrors and stuff for like when you're doing the workout, looking at a recording, or, you know, just little clip that you put on Instagram, it gives you a whole different perspective. And to be able to see that kind of thing, like there's no other way to go back in time and see how you've improved. Like like you're saying, kicking your leg higher in your athleticism, you know. And I think sometimes too, like you can just realize, oh, there's a different way I should have been doing that, or that's like not the right angle. And I get that too from like what everyone else posts. You know, it's like things click sometimes when you see it with you know, different Tamily members.
Yeah, that's another great point. I don't have the patience to watch the breakdowns, and I should. So I do get a lot of the tips from everyone when they mention something about a technique.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, if anyone's new, measure your body. I didn't do that, and I so wish that I took my measurements. I know my body's changed, but I don't have that reference point. So if you're new, measure yourself. Take the picture, measure yourself. You won't regret it.
That's such an important point too, especially because sometimes you're not going to be like losing pounds or, you know, especially like right away, but the measurements change almost like immediately, even if it's just a little bit. And knowing like your arm is half an inch smaller, like that's real results.
Yeah. You know, I actually stopped weighing myself. I got on the scale like 3 weeks ago, and I hadn't weighed myself since May of last year. And I was really discouraged when I got on the scale. Then I decided I would weigh myself a week later, and then it was 4 pounds more. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. It doesn't do any good for me mentally. And if I can just follow the way I feel and just through the method and we post, I'm going to take that. That's the best gain for me.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point too. It depends on yourself, you know, weighing yourself every day is sometimes what works for someone.
Yeah.
Not weighing yourself ever works for other people, but definitely the measurement. And it's like, huge. Even before you're really committed, just go ahead and get those measurements done, and you'll like knowing the comparison, you know, completely. Some time later. That
for sure.
It for new people. So I think that we have gotten all of the questions that are in the chat, but we've got lots of comments. Everyone loves you, Courtney.
Oh, thanks everyone. I love you.
I just want to make sure we didn't miss any of the questions. Okay, we did ask that one. Okay, if anyone has any more questions, you can type them in. Oh, and Disco Diva was just saying that her weight didn't change, but her whole shape keeps changing. So just another point about that part, especially for new people, and especially too for people that, you know, and I know everyone comes like with a totally different experience to this journey, but if they've been fit or in shape before, you might not see those exact, you know, huge losses of weight, but you will see the change in the measurements, especially with the different focus of the muscles, and, you know, some muscles that will like get more slender and others that, you know, like it definitely, that's a huge tip for new people.
Everybody has been talking about their booty popping now. I don't know that I've noticed my booty pop yet, but that's been a big topic of conversation,
I guess. Yeah, I think my booty was gonna pop whether I was like doing the method.
Oh, funny.
Well, I think we've also asked you all of our planned questions. Is there anything else that you want to share with the Tamily?
Oh, gosh, you know, to everybody in the community, you bring so much to my life. You've made me a more confident individual. When I came here, like I said, I didn't want to post myself, and we all have our insecurities. And over the past 2 years, this was like one of the last boxes for me to check, I think, and I didn't even know it, to understand how amazing and beautiful each and every one of us are in this world. I really feel that I can accomplish anything I put my mind to, and it's because of this Tamily. And I mean that 100%, that it has changed my life in so many ways. So thank you to everyone. I love you all. And I can't wait to keep up this journey with each and every one of you. And Suzanne, thank you for doing this. Nicole, thank you for doing this. And everybody who adds to our community. If you have some extra dollars, add to the Tamily Fund so we can sponsor some people with another year, especially during COVID.
Yeah, it really, that's the biggest gift that you can give anyone. And I feel like with this method, the longer that you do it, the more you realize the benefits of it. And people can't necessarily see that in like a 2-week or 1-month scenario. And I think it's so hard to convey that to people that are not inside of this community, that people think, from the outside looking in, it looks crazy. But I don't know. I feel like months and years into the method, you start realizing other benefits of it. Like, we all arrive to it with physical goals, and we all stay about other things. And the physical piece is like a benefit, but it's absolutely no longer the priority.
No.
And people cannot learn that in a small time. So, no. I mean, having a year of the method, that's like, I don't know if I could think of a better gift to give anyone.
No kidding. And it's interesting even to watch the people who've been year after year. You can see every transformation in little ways. And you're right. Nobody understands how hard Tracy Anderson is either. We are athletes. Mm-hmm. We are some of the top athletes, and I firmly believe there are so many people who could not do what we do.
Even people who do other methods and they're fit, I'm like, hold your arms out to the side for 10 minutes. No, you can't. Like, yeah, absolutely. It's that and the athletic endurance, and I think the strength that you build. You don't realize like how strong you are to do 25 reps of a, plank move. Like, it's amazing.
It's unheard of.
Seriously. Well, we've got a ton of lovely comments for you in the chat, and hearts and smiley faces. So thank you so much, Courtney, for being our 131st interview. I did have one question that I missed in the list, so I want to ask you. I know we kind of probably covered it a little bit, but what is your personal philosophy about working out?
My personal philosophy, it's not only for my health, like to feel physically great, it's for my mental health too. And I think we just touched on it a little bit, Suzanne, of how much more that this workout brings to our entire well-being. It clears my mind, it centers my soul, and it makes me be the best person I can be. And that's more than what I can ask for from any workout.
Yeah, that is definitely Tracy Anderson method working out.
That little firecracker.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much for interviewing with us. And this interview is going to go on to the Ask Tamily page right now, and then it'll be on YouTube in a few days.
Thank you so much. I love you all. Thanks for inspiring me.
Thank you for inspiring us, Courtney.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Bye. Bye.